Good day everyone, and welcome to the start of a brand new series on the Gig channel. Now we're starting off with Business Magnate because unfortunately our rise of industry gameplay got, let's just say, sideswiped by the devs putting out new releases and updates, and we couldn't load our save games. So that doesn't mean we won't go back to Rise of Industry, but for just now we're going to have a look at this little game called Business Magnate. And it's a bit of fun. I had a gameplay of this while I was away dealing with real world issues, and it's quite an interesting little game. So we're going to head off and we're going to do something in here for a little while. So this is version 1.6. And so, without further ado, let's get in and get going. So we're going to start a new game, and we are certainly not going to be John Smith. We could be Dr. Smith and Will Robinson, but let's be Grumpy. Yeah, just Grumpy. I think that's fine. Now, we have some limited options that we can do. These symbols at the end here mean that these particular things are locked. So we can't have ships, airplanes, tanks or trucks, but we can do computers, phones, rockets and cars. Now, when I played this while I was away, I did do cars, and cars is actually quite interesting. So I would like to stay with cars when we do our new game, and I'm going to go with medium because it can get quite hectic. But for enjoyment, we're going to start with $1 million in the bank and the ability to do some stuff. We don't want cars. We want, yeah, actually, let's go Grumpy Cars. Why not? Grumpy Cars Limited. Actually, and where I come from, they're proprietary limited, but there you go. Let's do that. I'm going to go with the generic thing. That looks like the symbol for a car, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Fine. And we're going to go in the grasslands. And we're all set. So, congratulations. You just created your first company. Now your goal should be to create and sell a product and make a profit. You can create more companies as well. And I'm going to go with OK. See the buttons here, the game runs in real time. With these you can always start, stop and fast forward the gameplay. Yes. See the mail button here. Click it to read important instructions and help on what to do next. Yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, at 9:04 on a Monday morning, is the tutorial. The mail, which turns up here quite regularly, gives you the clue about what to do next and how to proceed. Also gives you information about, you made something, you sold something, you're losing money here, you don't have enough of this, you should do that, all that sort of thing. So it's pretty good. Now, conceptually, the game itself is actually fairly straightforward, and you'll see as we play that the interesting additional fun parts of the game come as you go through it, and you actually end up running multiple companies producing different things. And I don't like making comparisons to the real world, but kind of a little bit in the vein of, I need to get to Mars, so I need to build spaceships. But in order to be able to do that, I have to build cars to make money to pay for the spaceships, that sort of thing. And you can get the gist of this as we go through the game. Now, when I did this before, as I said, I started off with cars. It's quite fun. And a bit of a challenge too, actually, as you'll see as we get along. And then I just started up making my second company when I had to come back from my real world issues that I was dealing with. So I'm going to go much along the same way. I'm not going to do the tutorial per se, although we will look at the mail to see what we have to do next. But I do know what we need to do next. And the first thing we need to do is set up so that we can actually make some cars. So I'm going to put an office there, and notice we are already spending money. And then I'm going to build, oh, by the way, I should say, this is the building and build menu over here. And these are pretty much what you're entitled to. Your bulldozer, a street, different buildings, a shipping area, which you must have. Once your products are built, they have to be stored somewhere before they can be sold. And that's what the shipping area is all about. Now, even though the game tells you that it has streets, which we saw up here, you don't actually need them. Cars will quite happily run across the grass to get to where they want to go. It's just a looks nice thing to have them in. So we've got a place for that to go. Now, the other thing we need right off the bat is a storage facility. And we'll get to why we need that in just a second. But when I was playing, got right past medium and went straight into big. Because you just need it. So I'm going to put a big right there. Now, this is the start of our setup. This is the office block where the white-collar dudes work, including the R&D boys and girls and the marketing boys and girls and the management boys and girls. And then over here in the warehouse and also in, in these, the production facility is where we get the blue-collar guys working. Now, I am not going to build one of these just yet. And the reason is because we have to go and hire people. And they take time to hire. So before we can start producing anything, we are going to need to recruit some guys. And I'm going to start with production and go 10, even though I know that we need 20 for the size building I'm going to get. But we're going to start with 10. And while that is going on, because we do need to hire quite a few different things, actually I'll just go through this with you. We are going to need to hire, no, now I can't see, but we are going to need to hire production, management, R&D, and lastly, sales and marketing. Although sales and marketing does become a very important consideration as the game develops. The other thing we need to do is we need to get ready for our production run. And we need to build and hire along these lines, because no good having production staff if you haven't got anything to produce, or to product, as you might say. So the first thing we want to do is design the new product. And when I did this originally, I made the Super Mini. So the Mini Grump is a great little car. And you can do all sorts of things with this because you're fighting for market segmentation, so that you want to be the best-selling car in the market that you've defined for yourself. That's where you get the most money. So we're going to produce the Mini Grump, and our first version of it is going to be a manual car. And we'll make it Mark 1, shall we? Because we are going to need to have models. because once you've assigned the things that go in a model, you have to produce a different model to put different things in it. You can't just update the model. So we go next. So this is where we decide what the components are. So we're not going to go electric, hybrid, all that stuff. We're going to start off with good old-fashioned gasoline, a manual gearbox, a front-wheel drive chain, basic interior, bulbs, basic steering column, and all these other things down here, which are optional extras, we don't have. So that's fine. So we're going to finish it up. So we have a mini Grump manual, Mark 1. It has 0.6 in comfort, 2.5 in performance, and 2 in fuel consumption. Petrol engine, gasoline, manual transmission, front-wheel drive. Recommended price, $14,208. But we need to pay for our marketing department, so we're going to make it $14,309. That extra $100, just to me, is our premium for being a grumpy manufacturer. So we have a product. There you go. That is our first product. And then we have, down here, we have the production overview, and we are not producing anything. We have a storage overview. We are not storing anything, and nothing is on order. So now, in order to actually be in a position to start producing things, we're going to order stuff. Yes, I hear you say we are going to order stuff. And some of the stuff that we're going to order isn't obvious that you need it. For example, it is not obvious that we need to buy metal to make the car, but it is assumed that we will know that. And it takes, because I happen to know this, 200 metal to make one car. And I also happen to know that well, actually I'll show you. This guy here, which is the first production facility I want to get, makes 4.4 units a day. So if we just go back, so we have 4.4 units a day, we go production, existing products, mini, now I thought it said it there how much it took, but it does not. Where do I remember seeing it? Anyway, the material cost is $2,496. The price is $14,000. So you can see that what's that? About $11,000 goes to other expenses. Now, well, anyway, I happen to know it takes 200. So if, for example, we are ordering 200 per car at 5 cars a day, that's 1,000. And suppose we want 2 days worth of supplies, that's 2,000 metal. It's just a good thing that I know this. Okay, 2 hours. Now, I wonder how long it would take if we got 7 days worth. It would take 3 days and 12 hours. No, let's order 2. Let's order 3, actually. There you go. 3,000, that's 3 days worth. So we order the metal. Now, in the beginning, all the ordering has to be manually done for the first 3 vehicles. So ordering 3 days worth gives us enough stock in the manufacturing process to get up to automatic. So that's what we're going to do. So now we need our gasoline engine, and 3 days at 5 is 15. So let's order 20. Seems like a good number. Yep, 20 engines. You're getting the hang of this, I assume. 20 engines. So the next thing was the drivetrain. We needed a drivetrain, front wheel drive. 20 of those. After drivetrain, we get transmission, and of course we're all manual at this time. And then after transmission, we have things like batteries, which we don't use. We have an interior design, which is basic. Very good. An interior design, which is basic. A light, which is bulbs, which is, let's do 20 of those. And then last but by no means least, the steering wheel, which is basic. And there you go. Now we have ordered here everything that we need, according to my theory, to produce 3 days, because of the metal, worth of cars, which should be 15 cars. Okay, now we can start the game going, and you can see here it's working on hiring employees. Time to hire employees, we've done that. Time to build a business office, we've done that. So this is what we've got at the minute. And this is our starting position. And here come people being delivered. And there isn't actually terribly much to do while this is all going on. Yeah, I know. We're just not going to spend the money yet because we don't need it. Now let's talk about a couple of other things while we're waiting for our employees. The first thing is that R&D can be done when we get some research and development personnel. And they give you a selection of things to research. Now obviously some of them take less time and cost less money than others. But it depends on what you're driving for as to where you're going to put your R&D dollars. That's also very true. Finances are basically money, and as you can see right now, we've spent a fair chunk of it just starting off on day one. And we're not making any income, and we won't be making any income either for possibly 6 to 7 days. So that's that. Now, marketing is very important. You have product marketing, which increases the public's presence in their mind of your product. And in this particular case, the Mini Grump Manual Mark I. There's also brand awareness, which is your company name. And it's these two that compete in the marketplace with your competition. For example, if someone makes a manual Mini, the same as yours, your brand awareness, if it's higher than their Mini, may actually trump them, may give your vehicle the edge, which is fairly straightforward. And then sales is basically, you can look at how many you've made and how many are waiting to be bought by people who haven't got one yet, which is quite a useful thing. Employee motivation is 97 and falling. Now, this is quite interesting, actually, because if we look at employees here, we have employed 5. It's not recommending any because we don't have a production facility yet. But one of the things that happens rather interestingly is that if you provide employees, i.e. production guys, without management, their morale or motivation drops. And I would have to say that it has been my experience with the average manager that you're likely to have a higher motivation for doing a good job when your manager leaves you alone, rather than when he pays attention to you. But you know what, I could be very wrong. But that would just be my take on that situation. So let's put the speed up here a bit. and plug along till we get some employees. Now, the other thing that we need to keep an eye on is when we get our production. So if we look at storage, we still haven't received anything. And if you look at pending deliveries, you can see that our earliest delivery is 21 hours away and our longest delivery is 2 days, 10 hours. So we've got a couple of days, we've got a couple of days before anything there is going to happen. So hiring for production department has finished. We need to go back there. Let's get 6 management. Now, why 6? Because I've only hired half of the production and they need 3. So I'm going to assume that when I complete that, they're going to need upwards of 6 management. So that's what we're going to do right now. We do that, go up in speed, keep things running along. Now, I mean, it's interesting. It turns out that my channel pretty much is around construction, manufacturing, management, simulation building, enterprising, all that sort of stuff. So it looks like this is where the channel's going to be heading, very much down that vein. And of course, you're all here watching it, so it must be okay with you guys. So we finished the management, which is good. Let's go back. Oh, no, employees, sorry. And let's get some more marketing and sales guys. Now, or not some more, but some marketing and sales guys. Now, I'm going to do these ahead of, which I think is contrary to what I said in the opening, but I'm going to do this ahead of getting the R&D guys, because what we really want is presence in the market, and we really want to be able to sell our products when we start manufacturing them. So I just pretty sure that's the production guys being hired. Let's get another 10 production dudes in there, and then after these guys we'll do R&D. Okay, now it's not very long now. Let's check production, check pending deliveries. Yeah, most of the stuff is still coming. Now, if I just go back there for a second and have a look, the storage overview will show, yes, there is metal. We have metal. And you also have to be careful too, because you can fill up your storehouses. And that can cause you quite a bit of problem. So boss, that's me, right? In order to produce your products, you need to build a production facility. To do that, click on buildings and then select the production facility. Well, yes, but the answer is no. Actually, that's not what we're doing. Hiring's finished. We got 20 light globes. We got 20 steering wheels. Let's just double check everything. Right, now we could get some R&D guys, and I'm going to just go with 2 of them for the minute. Oh, 2 of them. Right, okay. And we're just going to go break, break, break. Stephen Haynes. Oh, good. How are you? Look, unfortunately at the moment, no. I've got so much unopened wine in boxes, I just couldn't get any more. No, you could give me a call at Christmas. That would be fine. Thank you. I'll look forward to it. Bye. All right. In. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. Right. Okay. R&D dudes are going on. Okay, so now we have to make sure we've got all our deliveries. Pending deliveries. We've still got 4, but they'll all be in basically within a day. Now, interestingly enough, once you purchase the building, whichever of the production facilities you choose, and for me, I choose the medium production facility for a first one, it's automatic. You just plonk it down. If you've already got the staff ready to go, they fully occupy the building, and you can begin manufacturing almost immediately. So that's not going to be a hold-up for us. Now, the other thing, oh, we got 2, well, we got 2, 96 and falling, finish there. Right, now, we're just going to pause that for 1 second. Actually, we'll go normal. Let's go over to marketing. Now, what I would like to do is just do a brand awareness campaign to start off with, because we have neither product awareness nor brand awareness. So let's just start a brand awareness campaign, run for 1 day, and get our company name out there a little bit. Then, just to make sure we're in the neat and tidy category, I'm going to add a bit of a street down here. Right, and that's where I'm going to put the production facility, the first one that we build. Okay, now, marketing campaign is going on. R&D is nothing. Okay, now, we are going to produce, or I would like to produce, a basic mini and an expensive mini. So the first thing I'm going to look for in an expensive mini is I want to make it an automatic gearbox. And to do that, we're going to go through from manual to sequential. And then I just happen to know that the next one is automatic. So that's going on there. So we've got some R&D going on. We're promoting our company in the broader world, and we are fully stocked. In fact, we've got way too many managers, which I would have to say, just as a personal expression, would be my experience in the real world as well. Way too many managers, way too few people doing stuff. Right, let's just speed this up, because we've got literally 18 hours before we can begin manufacturing the famous Mini. And actually quite a shame that on YouTube you have to turn the music off, because the music for this game is actually pretty good. I guess if we were on Twitch it would be all right. We could have the music. Unfortunately on YouTube, that's a no-no. And apparently a pretty big no-no too. There's just something about music, isn't it? Maybe I should find some Beethoven that's free to air and put that up. Maybe that would work. Okay, well, just while that's going on, let's go ahead now, because we're almost there, and go over here to buildings, grab this guy, which is a $50,000 investment, and go kaplonky, come in here, and let's produce, I like even numbers, so let's make 4 manual cars. Well, actually, let's make 5. Yep, 5 manual cars. Notice we're missing gasoline, drive, and gearbox, but we have the others that we need. So let's start production, and straight away you can see we can't make the first car because, well, we don't have the parts. So we come back up here to pending deliveries, and 2 hours away. till we get enough material to be able to do this. So we do. Okay, there we go. Let's just check our mail. Start producing. Yes. Got those. Don't have those. Got those. Fine. Now, what happens is that X means nothing's happening. When it does start producing, that bar, of course, will go across. And then when it has produced its first car, it will come and it will sit down here. And the reason it will come and sit down here is because, why is it 92 and falling? All right. Is because, and I'll show you why it's because, in our marketing, nobody in the world knows about our Mini. Nobody. It is like the least known thing in the entire galaxy. And until we put money into a marketing campaign to tell people that we have the Mini Grumpy, which is ideal for you and the family, no one is going to buy it. However, that also allows us to build up some stock so that when we do go to market, we have a considerable backlog that we can sell. So let's press on with that. The gears mean it's working. The progression of the bar means that it's manufacturing. And any minute now, let's just go down here, because any minute now, this truck is going to deliver a Mini. There we go. That's our first vehicle. Now, you would have noticed that while that truck was delivering the Mini from the production facility to here, it didn't start producing the new Mini because that delivery is considered to be part of the manufacturing process. And the other thing I found is that the distance of the warehouses from the manufacturing plants can even affect how long it waits for parts when it's being delivered. So all this has a bearing, no pun intended on the manufacturing side there, but it all has a bearing. And I don't know that I've got to the point where I've got this very well worked out, except for saying that possibly you want your manufacturing in the middle, your delivery here, and then your warehouses there, so it sort of flows and you average out the distances. That's just me saying that. So what have we got? We made our first Mini Miner. Well done, everyone. And we need to have a product release for the Mini Miner. And because we've produced 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, we can now automatically produce these things. So what I'd like to do is just have a quick talk to you about something like a father to offspring type chat, if you will. Now, there are a couple of things we can do. And what I did do when I was in my trip, when I was playing this game, I went ahead and I ordered all the components that we need to make the vehicles, and I had them delivered, right? And it causes you all sorts of issues. Now, what could happen? Let me show you. Suppose you need metal. And you need metal on a regular basis. Well, we know that, and we're going to do this as an experiment, if you will. We know that it takes 1,000 a day, but we know that we also want to make automatic minis as well. So we're going to have manuals and automatics. The manuals is 1,000, the automatics is 1,000. That's 2,000 a day. In 3 days, we happen to know is 3 to 6,000. So we put 6,000 in here. And first of all, we don't have enough space to store 6,000, so that's our first issue. So let's go for 2 days worth then, which is 4 2, 4, which is 4,000. We can store that, yes, but it's 2 days worth and it takes 2 days to deliver it. Does anyone see something wrong with that? I do. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. But we could do it automatically and we could automatically reorder it. Now, if that's 2 days worth of supply, you probably want to order it pretty much as soon as you have it delivered. So I would actually say in our case, we want to order it if it's less than 5,000. That's what we want to do. But there you go. That's one way of doing it. So you'll get a double order going. The other thing to do, which actually might be a lot better for us, is to not do any of this and to go back for a second and get another warehouse and put it there. Okay, we should pause the game too, actually, because we have produced the 5 that we put down for. What I think we should do, and I'll just show you this. And we will set these up to be automatic, just so that you know where I'm coming from with this. So let's order. Now, we know, hang on, let's go through the logic again. We know we produce 5 a day. We are going to produce 10. But they're going to be, well, let's make it easier. We're going to produce 5 a day of the manual. Okay? 5 a day of the manual. So, that means we want 1,000 a day to 3. So let's get 3 days worth. So we're going to order no, thank you. We're going to order metal. We're going to order 3,000 metal. And that takes a day, even though we're getting 3 days worth of supply. So we're going to automatically reorder it when it gets to 2,500, because I don't want to ever run out of this supply. Okay? So that will automatically order that. So this is what you do for every component. You go through and you go 5 a day times that's 15. Well, I'm going to stay with 20 because it's a nice round number. And we're going to automatically reorder. See, that takes 3 days. Yeah, I'm going to automatically reorder when it gets to 15. Because, no, not even when it gets to 15. When it's 19. Yep. Because it takes slightly longer to order than to use it. So that's the issue here. Now, so we go engine, then we go drivetrain, 20, automatic, 19, order supplies, transmission, manual gearbox, 20, automatic reorder, 19. So, as you can see, we should be able to keep this going pretty well during the manufacturing process. Automatic reorder, 19. Order supplies, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Light bulbs, yeah. 20. Automatic. 19, order. And the last one, which is the steering wheel, 20, automatic order 19. Now, on this particular issue, every time these units get to their reorder point in the warehouse, an automatic order will be placed for that quantity again. So, we already had some goods in the warehouse, and you can see this by looking at the storage overview, which is there, and we have enough, I think, to be producing some more while we are waiting for our next delivery. So we go to the warehouse, and we go to production facility 1, and we're going to make a mini grump manual Mark 1, and I would like to make another 25 of them, and that will bring our total up to 30. Now, even though it's red, that means we currently do not have in stock what we need to produce these units. But they will use up what is in stock until they run out of a component part, and then they will stop manufacturing. And away we go. Now, at this stage, we've got 5 cars on day 5, which we have not sold. So and we've got plenty of money in the bank. It's not like we're running out of money, so we're doing okay there. But I'm going to add another shipping area just to make sure we can store what we are manufacturing. Now, having said that though, we are 41 minutes into the game, well, thereabouts. So I would like to thank you all for joining me in the unexpected launch of Business Magnate, because unfortunately we couldn't continue with Rise of Industry. But we're here, and I think you're going to enjoy this game. It's a cheeky little number which poses some interesting problems as you go along. So, Business Magnate, episode 2 coming to a gig channel near you very shortly. Until then, stay well, and in our next episode, we will launch the amazing Mini Grump on the unsuspecting marketplaces of the world. So, until that time, I'll see you all later. Bye.